Coming up in this edition, government returns to negotiating table with power company Ameri over controversial power plant deal as it commits to paying Ameri outstanding $80 million debt.
The government examining the conditions, and as and when time is right, we'll let Ghanaians know exactly. But it's looking good. This government is noted for paying debt, so yes, I'm sure we should be able to do that. Yeah.
We have details as founder of Dankwa Institute, Gabi Asariotridaku, sues managing editor of Herald newspaper over libelous publication on the Ameri deal. Also tonight, effect of banking crisis bites hard as companies begin to downsize in order to stay in business.
What we want from them is our salary, and up to now, they didn't say anything to us.
You still have your jobs, do you?
No.
Because you've been sacked?
Yes.
It's general. Both tellers, cash boys, everybody is not paid.
We'll hear from some workers of a company which until recently provided delivery services to Unibank and its allied companies, plus a protest over the provision of what they termed ghost jobs.
Seriously, it's very difficult in Ghana living without a job.
The youth of Ghana are sick and tired of being home looking for a job. They want a secure job.
And also, police launch investigations into circumstances leading to the death of a 9-year-old boy whose body was found buried in the home of an evangelist at Abokubi here in Accra.
And I was thinking the police will say, okay, let's go and remove the body for autopsy. Now you pay them, they are free. And we don't know what killed the boy. If it's a contaminated disease that killed this boy, it means we all in the area are supposed to be affected.
And in business, dealing with China, we hear from former Finance Minister Setekwe and an economist.
And I'll bring you updates from the Black Stars company Ethiopia as Newcastle United's Christian Achu is latest to join the team.
And later on flip side, a confession by MP for Ada East Comfort Kujo Ganza about which of the two leading parties in Ghana is more corrupt. Is it the NPP or the NDC?
Who steals coins and who steals the dollars? So we'll hear that later on here on NewsNite. Send us a WhatsApp 0244340437. My name is Evans Mensah.
I am Emefapao.
We have details after the break.
Trusted, innovative financial services, providing inflation support and solutions, customer-oriented superior services, your success our passion. Trusted, innovative financial services, providing inflation support and solutions, customer-oriented superior services. Your success our passion. 10 good years of loyalty, service with integrity, protective of our Ghanaian brand. 10 years of excellence, 10 years of loyalty. Your success our passion. Oh yeah, your success our passion.
Your success our passion.
Don't come me. Hey, 10 pesos. 10 pesos. Vodafone is 10 years old and is giving you an anniversary gift of 10 times bonus and 10 pesos call rate across networks. Browse for 10 pesos per megabyte. Call Vodafone or any other network at the same rate of 10 pesos per minute. That's not all. Share your scratch card with 2 more people the Kikimi style, and the 3 of you will each enjoy 10 times the value of your card. Dial *135# to subscribe. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Hey, Yimshi, I noticed that all the national stadia in Ghana have lasted for decades.
Oh, yes. But do you also know that the concrete bridges are also decades old?
Yes.
Only one company in Ghana can give you that guarantee, and that is Gasem.
Cement that guarantees smooth finishing of plastering.
That is the Gasem Super Rapid 32.5R. If you want to have strong blocks for any form of construction, use Gasem Super Strong 42.5R. For your time-tested bridges like the Adome, multi-story buildings, highways like the motorway, then it is Gasem Extra 42.5N.
And the good news is, all these cement products are made right here in Ghana.
Gasem, 3 cement grades, unique quality. Gasem, the nation builder.
Nationwide Medical Insurance, the leader in private health insurance, has deployed superior technology to make your healthcare experience more convenient and exciting. With the Nationwide mobile app, you can order your prescription drugs and we will deliver to your doorsteps. With over 600 dependable healthcare service providers, you're just a step away locating your service provider of choice and accessing hospital claim information in real time. Our corporate clients are guaranteed timely corporate utilization reports. We provide on-site clinics to give employees access to healthcare in the comfort of their offices. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on toll-free number 0800 222222 or visit our website www.nationwidemh.com. Nationwide Medical Insurance. Join the healthcare family.
So live here on NewsNite on Joy 99.7 FM. Still ahead, of course. We'll hear from that member of parliament who has been talking about who steals the most. The NDC.
Look at the corruption in their government now. You can't compare it to NDC. After if NDC will steal, they will steal coins. These people, they will steal dollars. What are you talking about?
Well, stay with us for that and more here on NewsNite. But first,
government has tonight confirmed it has returned to the negotiating table with power company Ameri, with the Energy Minister John Peter Amewu assuring government is committed to paying $80 million debt owed Ameri. This position is a sharp departure from that held by sacked Energy Minister Boakye Jackson that saw government default in its commitments to the company, forcing a threat of legal action to be issued. Ms. Amewu, while touring some power plants, told pressmen the aim of government is to have all power plants up and running to keep our lights on. Take a listen to Mr. Amewu.
We want to move the car power plants that we have here in Tema to Takrady. Again, the car power plant, as you know, is also relying on heavy fuel, which is again very expensive. And so that relocation, if it's also done, is going to take that burden of feeding the plant on more expensive source of fuel, and that also will be feed on gas. So these are some of the responsibilities of government here.
How about Ameri?
That's an interesting. We are on, and
so far we know that we owe them some amount of money that we are supposed to pay.
Definitely, government is examining the conditions, and as of when time is right, we'll let Ghanaians know exactly what is. But it's looking good.
Are we paying our debts?
I mean, this government is noted for paying debt, so yes, I'm sure we should be able to do that. Yeah.
How much have you paid so far?
I don't have the figures now. I think finance will be in the best position to.
So Ms. Amewu also raised concerns about the lack of Ghanaians in top management positions, especially at the Asogli power plant that he visited. He argues that Ghana has a good relationship with China, which is evident in the president's visit. He wants the managers to make it a point to include Ghanaians to ensure transfer of skills once they leave the country.
But I want to assure you that the president wants the lights on, and whatever is going to take you to do and make sure that your power delivery in terms of availability is key, you will do that. What is also respected of the government to make sure we provide the necessary infrastructure framework so that we get our lights on, we will do that. I'm only just surprised, just I've seen our good friends Chinese all sitting here. There's no Ghanaian sitting among the management team. And we will expect yes, but we will expect to see them here equally. That shows, the level of friendship. As I speak today, my president is in China with your president, isn't it? Yes. So China and Ghana, have existed for a very, very, very long time. So we expect that you begin to carry some of the Ghanaians along. Because the joy of investment is also a joy of leaving something behind. If after 20, 30, 45 years, soon Asogli is no longer here, you will be happy to say that these are the Ghanaians that we left behind to do that. So subsequent arrangements, I want to see how you bring Ghanaians, to the highest level of management. And that will be a credit to you, and also the government will also be extremely happy.
Well, that's the energy, of course, the energy minister speaking to us today. Let's quickly, on the Ameri deal, we know that he replaced the sacked Boakye Jackson, and when he was replaced, he said he would make the Ameri deal one of his top priorities. Now we know that he's begun negotiating with Ameri, and he says government is committed to paying the debt they owe Ameri. Let's speak to the executive director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, Ben Boakye, joins us on the telephone line right now. Thank you, Mr. Boakye, for your time here on NewsNite. What do you make of the new energy minister's position on Ameri?
Yeah, thank you very much, Evans, for having me. I think that is consistent with our advocacy. That, I mean, if a country has a contract with any investor, you have to honor the contract. You know, you should have done your due diligence to ensure that the contract was above board. And once it is signed, you have to honor the contract. If you want to do anything, renegotiating the contract, whatever, the person you have to go to is the one that you have contract with. And we haven't been following the events in recent times, but we would follow up to see how that renegotiation goes and how government honors its commitments to the contract to ensure that we are not sending the wrong signal, you know, to the investor community. The ultimate realization is that there is no angel walking our streets, you know, to invest in Ghana. We have to do our own due diligence to ensure that at all times the public interest is served. And once we have a commitment with any company, we have to respond to the contract and the terms of it accordingly.
So clearly from what we're hearing from him, he also talks about payment of the debt. Is it your understanding that Mary is willing to negotiate?
I can't speak to that, but I mean, at this point, if there is good faith from the both parties, they should be able to negotiate the contract. But I cannot speak to that detail because I don't even know where they are with that arrangement. But I would believe that, I mean, if the minister can, you know, show that Ghana needs some relief, you know, from Mary, and that good faith can be exhibited, I'm sure that for an investor that may be interested in the country, they could pass some relief to us. But we will wait to see how that pans out as the days unfold.
And quickly on his other concern about hoping to see more locals in top management positions at companies such as Asogli. I thought that's what the local content law is there to do. I mean, should he be complaining about it or simply enforcing the law?
I think for the power sector, the processes are underway to have a local content law passed. And that is why I sense from his communication that he was rather appealing to Asogli to blend Ghanaians with the foreign counterparts so that they can pass on technology transfer and then some skills to the locals. So once we do not have the local content law implemented or passed for the power sector, he can only appeal, you know, to them to ensure that we can have Ghanaians employed in the hierarchy of these businesses.
Thank you very much for your time here on NewsNite. That's the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy.
So, Evans, staying on the Ameri, you know there were a number of publications around this Ameri deal. One such publication was the one done by the managing editor of the Herald newspaper, Larry Dogbe. I'll give you details of that publication shortly, but we know that the founder of Dankwa Institute, Gabi Asariotre-Darko, has dragged the managing editor of the Herald newspaper, Larry Dogbe, to the High Court over what he claims are libelous publication on the Ameri power deal. So, one such publication is the writ is actually making reference to a story carried out by the Herald newspaper on Friday, 22nd June 2018 edition, with the headline, "The Akufo-Addo's family has turned Ghana into a monetary state." Powerful
into a monarchy.
Bumped into a monarchy instead. Okay, it says powerful bumpty Gabi Asariotre-Darko surge on Ameri. Now, it highlights how the president and his hangers on have hijacked most sectors and makes reference to the Ameri deal specifically. It cites Gabi as playing a role in the deal, though he's not a government appointee.
Okay, which is what government has sued on. Let's bring in the managing editor of the Herald newspaper, Larry Dogbe, joins us on the telephone line. Have you received a copy of this, Ray?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and your reaction to this is?
Good evening, and then good evening to your listeners. First of all, I think it's a gagging order that he's seeking. He's seeking to gag us from reporting on, other things, happening as far as the energy sector is concerned. And most of this is being done by members of the president's family. And, we reported this thing long before you got the executive order saying that the president had approved, the sale of the Ameri power plant to miscellaneous and so on. And so it is just, what you call it, it's just a confirmation. Sorry, the executive order was just a confirmation of the things that were happening as far as the energy sector was concerned.
Okay, so are you going to go to...
he's going this way. It is just, he's just seeking to gag us, really.
So are you going to go to court and make that argument that he's simply seeking to gag you?
Oh, leave that to my lawyers to make that argument.
Okay, but your defense is that is simply saying that what you've published is not true.
My defense will be that, listen, there is a lot happening as far as this country is concerned. My defense will also be that JoyFM would want to also look at some of the things happening as far as the energy sector is concerned. My defense will also be that a media house like Joy will also question why we got an executive order from the presidency and not a cabinet approval. My defense will be that why didn't he, as the president, sack the DA2? My defense will be that
Mr.
who led to the president.
Mr. Dogbe, fundamentally, Gabby's suit is simply saying that what you publish about him is false and libelous. You stand by what you published?
Sure, I stand by it.
Okay.
And then my lawyers will make the argument, clearly.
I'm grateful that you joined us. Larry Dugbe is the managing news editor of the Herald newspaper. Let's go to the banking sector, shall we?
Because the real effect of the banking crisis is beginning to manifest as companies that until recently were providing various services to some of these banks are beginning to downsize in order to stay in business. Now, some staff of Topcore Logistics Services, for instance, a subsidiary of the now defunct Unibank, are demanding the payment of their August salaries in addition to their severance packages.
Well, that's not all. Yesterday, we did a lot on job losses generally. Fundamentally, because of the banking crisis we've seen, workers of the Consolidated Bank Ghana, GN Media, TV Africa, energy firm BX Company, among others, are all laying off some workers while salaries remain unpaid for days, weeks and months. Now, the workers of Topcore Logistics Services, numbering about 40, most of whom are dispatch riders, allege they are being threatened by management of the company to return their motorbikes or be arrested. Now, some of them spoke to my colleague, Enes Menu.
We've not received our salaries, but we've been threatened by our management. It's unfortunate there has not been any effective communication apart from this morning where we had a call that we should attend a meeting. They were told their checks has been freezed, or I don't know how to term it, but...
And all your checks went through the now defunct Unibank?
Yes.
We don't know what the problem is. What we want from them is our salary. And up to now, they didn't say anything to us.
What I want to find out is that you still have your jobs, do you?
No.
You've been sacked?
Yes, and they keep giving us today is 3rd, and more time they pay us 26th, 25th, 24th, and today is 3rd. So we decided to take the motorbikes and see if they will pay us. But yes, still, they are threatening that we should bring the bikes. They will come our homes with police.
Are you contract or permanent staff?
We are permanent staffs. I would say not below 40. The average salary will be between 750 Ghana cedis. And another part of the fear is that if it should be just the logistic, then I think there's something, it has to do with something else. But it's general. Both tellers, cash boys, majority of top staff, I say general, everybody is not paid.
Is it your fear that because of the banking crisis and because Unibank is now defunct, the company may not be able to pay? Is that your fear?
That's one factor of it.
Right now, what do you want?
Our concern right now, the most important part is our package. Looking at the way the things are going, we don't have any concrete assurance because the threat alone they are pulling, there's no proof that shows that we are going to get a package going home. I started working in Topcore Logistics in 2011. So at least I deserve a package if I'm going home tomorrow.
So those were some of the workers from Topcore who visited the premises of JoyFM. Meanwhile, on August 28, the receiver of Unibank announced his decision to terminate his contract with the parent company, prompting a circular that was issued on August 31 to the staff. Enes Menu joins us in studio with a copy of that circular. Enes, what does it say?
So this circular is from management to Topcore security staff, dated August 31, 2018. And it says that management of Topcore Security Ghana Limited wishes to inform all some staff members as a matter of urgency regarding the official communication from the receiver of Unibank Ghana Limited on the termination of our contract with Unibank Ghana Limited effective 28th August 2018 as per section 131 of the Banks and Specialized Deposits Taking Institutions Act. Now, as per the foregoing, no staff of Topcore Security Ghana Limited should report for duty at any branch of Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited from September 1, 2018. All staff members operating within Greater Accra Region and Kaswa are thus mandated to attend an emergency staff meeting to be held at the premises of Top Holdings Ghana Limited, Asylum Down, September 3, 2018, exactly 8 a.m. And it was at this meeting that these dispatch riders were told to bring their motorbikes and go home.
Well, sounds of protesters over government's provision of what they term as ghost jobs to the youth of the country. Now, the demonstration organized by Pressure Group, Economic Fighters League, was to gather statistics of unemployed youth in the country. We'll hear from Ernesto Yeboah shortly, but first, here are some of the protesters.
Seriously, it's very difficult in Ghana living without a job. At least you wake up, you have a lot of things to do. It's all about money. You have to find something to do. And through this exercise, I expect at least the government to do something about it. For us to at least to get something to do and then something to, in our lives.
Lack of prudent management of our resources. When you go to other countries, like United Arab Emirates, they don't pay income tax, but they are managing their resources prudently. So their people are enjoying from it. And that is what we also want from this nation. That our government that is sleeping now must wake up. Let the government wake up and find jobs for our jobless youth.
As a member, what are your expectations from the procession?
Okay, so at the end of the day, what we seek to achieve is to let the people, powers that be, know that the youth of Ghana are sick and tired of being home looking for a job. They want a secure job. Yes, we know there is some attempt to get people temporary jobs, but that does not bring about total independence, financial independence for the youth. We as youth of Ghana will not sit down for our future to be messed up so that just a few will enjoy our resources.
We're just going on this procession to make sure that we have concrete data of people who are not employed in the Greater Accra region.
Fighting for young people. Why are they stealing our resources? They will steal everything.
So, Evans, you heard there some protesters, those who turned up for today's demonstration. But we can hear from the leader of the Economic Fighters League, Ernesto Yeboah, who says the protests will be replicated in various regions to pile pressure on government to provide real jobs.
Well, this procession is to take a head count here in Greater Accra, the number of people that need jobs. More often than not, we would hear government spokespersons come out banding figures around, figures nobody can ever relate to. In fact, just yesterday I heard the Labour Relations Minister say that they have employed 1 million people. None of my family members who are unemployed have had, are part of this 1 million. And I'm not too sure if you can testify if you know anybody who has been recruited under this government. In the last administration, we had similar, figures being bandied around. You heard Okujato Ablakwa mention that they have created 1.6 million jobs. It appears to us that the political leadership of this country is only interested in creating ghost jobs. Now what we are looking out for are real jobs for real people.
So that's Ernesto Yeboah there. He's the leader of the demonstration. But interestingly, he mentions that the demonstration is supposed to be for a head count of those who are unemployed.
They did this protest so that they can do a head count of unemployed people in the capital. and from our checks, and a reporter was there, they had about 20 protesters on the streets.
20?
About 20, yes.
Interesting. So, well, there was a scheduled meeting between the leadership of Labour and the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations for a clear roadmap on how to avert further loss of jobs. But for some reason, the meeting was rescheduled at the last minute. Komla Adom has the details and he joins us live in the studio. So, Komla, what information did we pick up as to why the meeting was rescheduled?
First, MFR, stakeholders who were expected at this particular meeting, of course, Organised Labour, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, officials of the Labour and Employment Ministry, the Minister himself, Ignatius Bafuwa, his deputy, the chief director, coordinators of NAPCO and other job creation modules of government. We understand some interest groups were also invited for this particular meeting. But some stakeholders were unavailable. Organised Labour was, but some other stakeholders were unavailable. That's the reason why the meeting was postponed. Also, the ministry says it is looking to collate complaints they've received so far on the numerous job loss statistics over the last few weeks. And also, they say they're putting together the numbers of individuals who have so far lost their jobs through the banking crisis, the banking sector crisis. From what we gather, by close of week, these should be ready before the rescheduled meeting date, MFA.
Okay, but we're told that they will be meeting management and also the directors of the Consolidated Bank Group. What are we picking? Your sources tell you? What are you picking up?
Right. That's particularly important because in the last few weeks, we know that the collapse of the 5 banks has necessitated, some job losses. People have lost their jobs. Over 1,000 people have so far been laid off. And so the ministry is looking to first meet management and top officials of the Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited to really understand the impact of the collapse of these 5 banks and going forward what the roadmap is. Because last week we heard that the Consolidated Bank has issued a recruitment alert that they are recruiting new people. So the ministry wants to understand what procedures or what processes the bank wants to particularly undertake if they have to absorb the people, the numbers, or they have to let some go. They want to understand what the metrics will be. And then after they understand all these statistics and all these figures, they can then proceed to have that meeting with Organised Labour and draw the roadmap for looking forward.
Thank you very much, Komla. We can hear from the General Secretary of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Solomon Kote, who says the situation is becoming increasingly dangerous.
He was part of the meeting today?
Yes, he was supposed to be part of that meeting.
With the unemployment situation in the country, this news is also going to worsen the issues for everybody, increase the job insecurity for everybody. Now, we don't know whether the issues that are set to these, are also, yet to be brought to the fore. Capital, we thought that was the end, but they say more are yet to come. Now we've gotten 5, and as they say, more is yet to come. So, like wherever you work and you are those financial institutions, your heart will be in your mouth, and we think this is dangerous for the country.
So you have the General Secretary of the ICU, Solomon Kote. Let's bring in the perspective of a Labour analyst. And we've been joined by Seth Abolosu, who is the Executive Director of Labour Policy International. Thank you very much for your time here on NewsNite. So you must have also monitored the trend in terms of job losses. And in some cases, those who are lucky to have their jobs intact are not being paid. What's your own reading of this trend?
Thank you for having me. We are in very turbulent times. And it's important that we are guided by due process and the dictates of the law. Clearly, the management of the Consolidated Bank is not approaching the issue in accordance with the provisions of the Labour Act. And they need to backtrack and do things appropriately. It's completely out of order to ask the workers to reapply for the jobs. Because what we have is a merger, in real terms, a merger of 5 banks. The workers are in the same position as customers and depositors of the constituent banks that became the Consolidated Bank. So you cannot ask them at any point in time to reapply for their jobs. Now, if because of the consolidation, branches of the 5 banks have all become Consolidated Bank and they cannot operate them separately moving forward, it's important that they notify the Chief Labour Officer of their intention to ask some workers to disembark. And then meet with the workers or their representatives to discuss the terms under which this will happen. But we are not hearing any such procedure in the discourse. And in fact, when the bank was announced and the chief executive was made public, we never have heard that the bank has a board of directors duly constituted and who the chairman of that board is. Said that if the workers have a grievance, they want to have it attended to internally. Beyond the chief executive officer, they can move to the board of directors. Who are the members of the board? Who is the chairman of the board of Consolidated Bank? We don't know. So these are critical issues.
So at this point, some of the workers will ask what options are indeed open to them, because for the service providers, Topco, for instance, these 40 workers, they are holding on to motorbikes that they were using or working with previously with a company that they've been laid off from. And they are saying that they will hold on to it until they are paid. What options actually are available to them? Is it illegal for them to hold on to it?
No, you see, it's because of the procedure that the company is adopting. That is why the workers will take some such unorthodox measures, because they are not being dealt with in good faith. And I'm saying that the management of the bank needs to backtrack, seek appropriate advice, and move forward appropriately and in accordance with law. Because, like I said, the workers recognize, I'm sure, that if the 5 branches have been put together, the same branches in a particular locality cannot operate as Consolidated Bank moving forward. And therefore, certainly, some will have to disembark. But the law provides processes that must be followed. And the Consolidated Bank, now a state institution, should not violate the law. Otherwise, it sets a bad example for other employers.
Very well. We are grateful for your time, Mr. Seth Abolosu. There, he's a labor analyst.
Very interesting perspectives there. And JoyFM will join us shortly with more on this unfolding story with the banking sector. But we're also learning. Remember that tomorrow is a D-Day in Parliament when the Parliament Finance Committee will begin its probe into the banking collapse. Now, but we are learning, and this is a confirmation from the chair of Parliament Finance Committee, Dr. Sibe Yeboah, that they have agreed that the committee will not be inviting the directors of the 7 collapsed indigenous banks to appear before them. They will not invite them. According to Dr. Sibe Yeboah, representatives from the Central Bank, the Consolidated Bank, KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and the Ministry of Finance are scheduled to appear before the committee to answer questions on the issue. Listen to him.
I think we have made it clear from the outset that we are inviting the institutions to have an in-camera hearing to garner first-hand information from them. So that's exactly what we are going to do beginning tomorrow. We are going to start with the Central Bank, the Bank of Ghana, and the Ministry of Finance tomorrow. They are the institutions that the Bank of Ghana revoked the licenses of 7 banks. The Ministry of Finance capitalized the new Consolidated Bank Ghana, issued a bond for 8 billion Ghana cedis, capitalize the new bank with 450 million. These are issues that we have to interrogate and get first-hand information from these institutions. So I don't know about executive directors being, but which executive director, on what basis, on media accounts, or on what basis are.
So that's the chair of the Finance Committee confirming that if expecting executive directors and directors of the board to be invited, forget about it. That won't happen. Of course, we've been speaking to a banking consultant, Dr. Richmond Otiahene, about this. He's been consistent in insisting that directors of the various boards, including the Capital, Dr. Mensah Otabil, and the others, for example, Sovereign Bank, Champonche, should all be part of the probe. Well, as we just learned, that won't happen. This is his reaction.
I don't know what they want to achieve. I don't know the set of objective for the meeting. But if they seriously want to know the inside out of it. Everybody should be invited to come and tell their story, rather than telling the Bank of Ghana and Minister of Finance, the Boulders, and the KPMG to come. I would have thought that they should bring all the other parties involved so that it could be like what they do in England. So I would have thought they will bring everybody so that you have the views of everybody, including Bank of Ghana, including the Boulders, so that where people feel strong about it, they can express it before the Parliament. Other than that, I don't know what set of objectives they want to achieve.
And that's banking consultant there, Dr. Richmond Ichahene.
Still to come here on NewsNite, police launch investigations into circumstances leading to the death of a 9-year-old boy whose body was found buried in the home of an evangelist at Abokobi here in Accra.
And I was thinking the police will say, okay, let's go and remove the body for autopsy. Now you pay them, they are free. And we don't know what killed the boy. If it's a contaminated disease that killed this boy, it means we all in the area are supposed to be affected.
And later on flip side, a confession of an MP about which of the two leading parties in Ghana is more corrupt.
Look at the corruption in their government now. You can't compare it to NDC. After if NDC will steal, they will steal coins. These people, they will steal dollars. What are you talking about?
So it's now about coins or dollars.
The man with the cash is
we
here.
has all the dollars.
It tells you that now people think that we are more of dollarizing the economy than even the city itself.
Okay.
So in terms of legal tender, they want to refer to dollars rather than the Ghana city.
What do you have in the headlines, George?
Well, it looks like people are complaining about our dealings with China. We're going to hear from the former finance minister, Seth Tekpe, and an economist on how we should go about engaging the Chinese government. And investment firms also hit by panic withdrawals as local banks and savings and loans firms struggle to manage the situation. The business news on NewsNite is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. Heaven Plus and Set Aside Mosquito Spray, pleasant on humans, a tough nightmare on insects. United Pension Trustees, My Own Pension, Papa, and Mark Autopath, distributors of Chevy cars.
In this part of the world, we rise early, way before the sunrise. We plan, we pray, we prep, just so we are a step ahead. We keep the conversations going to stay connected to family, friends, and business. They say, Agrobeswa Ifrianopa. Start your day bright with MTN Kokroko. For only 1 Ghana cedi, you can enjoy 400 megabytes of data and 30 minutes of free MTN to MTN calls every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. everywhere you go. Dial *138# to buy MTN Kokroko bundle now.
The Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited's Back to School promotion is here with us again. From the 1st of August to the 30th of September, Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited is giving a generous 10% discount on all school items like textbooks, pens, pencils, erasers, exercise books, and much more across all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Takoradi, and Cape Coast. Parents, teachers, and students, please hurry while stocks last. For more information, call us on 0302 764 101 or 0302-764-209 or email info@kingdomgh.com. You can also visit our website www.kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books, where quality and affordability are both assured. Terms and conditions apply.
That is a sweet sound of excellence. That is the sound from Mack. Yes, Mack Ghana is the #1 distributor of the world's best quality Isuzu and Chevrolet vehicles in Ghana. Isuzu trucks from 1.5 tons to heavy-duty vehicles. Isuzu buses from 15 to 33 seaters, double and single cabin pickup, available in automatic and manual transmissions. We also stock a wide range of Chevy cars from SUVs, sedans, and small cars, fully loaded with exquisite specifications. All our range of vehicles stand out due to its high fuel efficiency, safety, luxury, spacious interior, world-class delivery, and after-sales servicing. What's more, we offer flexible payment terms to meet your pockets. Mack Ghana is a sole distributor for Isuzu trucks and pickups, as well as all range of Chevrolet cars in Ghana. Call us on 0302-813-919 in Accra or 0242-039-550 in Kumasi. Visit our website markghana.com. Mark Ghana, with you for the long run.
Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back to Business on NewsNite. And the country's decision to turn to China for funding has again come under some serious criticisms. The move has been criticized by some economists, civil society groups, and even our development partners. So how should this engagement be carried out so that we don't lose out on our partnership with these traditional donors? Well, that's the question we pose to the former Finance Minister, Seth Terkper, and he believes that we need to be strategic in dealing with all these partners.
In the matter of geopolitics, I think it's important for us also as Africans to listen to the concerns, that are being expressed by others, because we are going to relate to the US, we are going to relate to the EU, we are going to relate to, other geopolitical positions, the multilateral institutions. And the U.S. is a powerful voice on both the World Bank and the IMF. They carry heavy votes. And so I think that we should also be listening more.
What should be the Ghana strategy?
We should build our own institution. I think that what we need to do in Ghana is to have a robust development or long-term, financial arrangement, not just for government, but for the private sector.
Yes. From your engagement with China as a country, do you think that the West is being fair?
Well, I dealt with China for a very long time, and I think a number of points are very important, maybe 2 or 3. First, you don't view China as a political communist, left government when you deal with financial matters. Institutions like CDB, Exim are very, very, very professional. Second, let's not forget that China is westernized to a large extent, and China has become, the second largest economy in the world. So you cannot also do away with China and its influence.
Economist with the APSA Group, Rado Marcus, believes that the concerns being raised shouldn't be a big deal for Ghana, looking at the fact that the country will soon exit the IMF program.
The Ghana's program is coming to an end in the next couple of months anyway, so I don't think Ghana should be, at least in the short to medium term, be impacted by any decisions taken by the US. Ghana has expressed a clear sort of wish that they don't want to renew this program beyond the already 1-year extension. So any decisions taken by the US, probably at least in the medium term, should not have too much of an impact on Ghana. I think, if Ghana continues with these prudent fiscal policies as we've seen in the past year or two, I'm not so sure why Ghana should be worried.
Rado Marcus is an economist with APSA, the parent company for Barclays Bank, Ghana. Now, Kantanka Automobile is expected to benefit from the same government incentives that has been given to German automobile firm Volkswagen. According to the chief senior minister, Yosaf Mafo, government is keen on protecting local manufacturing firms. He made the revelation in an interview with Joy Business at the 2018 Ghana Economic Forum in Accra.
One obvious is support and promotion of indigenous Ghanaian businesses to make sure that certain incentives given to foreign entrepreneurs are also provided to local entrepreneurs. For instance, whatever we've given to VW to do assembly plant in Ghana will be extended to Kantanka to also do its assembly plant. We've got to make sure that we provide a lot of encouragement for local production. We've got to protect inverted commerce, also industrial base. If indeed we are getting a lot of dumping meaning that substandard goods are being inflicted on Ghana, then we as government should take steps to make sure that goods which come to this country meet our standards.
Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafo. Now, it appears the recent panic withdrawals that has hit the local banking sector is now stretching to other firms in the financial sector. Joy Business checks indicate that the finance and investment houses are also being affected by this challenge. We've been speaking to the chief executive of Data Bank, Kojo Dimensa, and this is what he has to say.
It's tough. It's not very smooth. There's a lot of nervousness, especially within our client base. Unfortunately, people find it difficult differentiating between commercial banking and investment banking. People are even still misinterpreting the fact that we are also supposed to meet a 400 million minimum capital. People go check our balance sheet and they are not seeing any signs of 400 million and think that we are about to be closed now. I mean, my colleagues and I have been having such discussions, so we are finding things quite difficult. And in addition, it's looking like our asset classes are also now quite restricted because everybody has suddenly moved conservative. So we are mostly into GOGs now. That's where most of the assets are going.
I knew about Kuja Diamonds, the chief executive of DataBank. Now, the country's trade with United Arab Emirates has witnessed significant increase. Latest figures from that country, that is United Arab Emirates, UAE, shows that Ghana's earnings reached $2.7 billion compared to $2.4 billion in 2016. The Undersecretary for the UAE's Ministry of Economy, Abdullah Salah, at this year's GIPC Deba Business Forum, which brought together investors from Dubai, has actually been giving us details on these numbers.
We are looking to diversify our trade and to increase the figures, to double it if we can, to include other commodities in our trade. I don't see that it is good enough. Looking to the potential that each country can offer to the others, I think there is a space to double this number easily. I think Ghana considered as a gateway for the region here, for West African countries, and UAE is a gateway for the region in the Middle East. So
according to the minister, the increase can be attributed to Ghana's gold. And that's all for business on NewsNite.
Thank you very much, George Riafe. Now, this some of your messages that you've sent in via WhatsApp on 0244340437. This one says, from my basic understanding of barter trade, it doesn't involve payment of money. And this one says, for me, I think since GOG will have to extract, refine and sell the bauxite before onwardly paying the money to the company, the arrangement is a debt. David Doji sends that. And this one from Kofi Sedu says, Gabi Ochridako cannot use the court to impose code of silence on those who are critical about his non-performing. Okay, so it goes on. And this one from Ruben Nyako, it says, whether NDC steals coins or NPP steals dollars, stealing be stealing. And this final one says, the NPP party, then in opposition, promised the youth of this country jobs, but not job losses. All these job losses as a result of the bad management of the economy by this particular government. Now, before we go for sports, the corpse of a baby boy is currently buried at a home in the Patrico community at Abukubi here in the Greater Accra region in a case of an authorized interment that's got residents troubled.
Well, quite apart from the health implications of the burial, the residents are concerned about the activities of the pastor who is said to have buried the corpse and how the death occurred. Now, neighbors who alerted the police about the suspicious activity in the pastor's house believe the boy may have been killed as part of a religious sacrifice. And in fact, the police, we know, have arrested both the parents and the pastor, but have subsequently granted them bail. We have details of that shortly. Nancy Emefa Dadosi has been to the community and now reports.
I have traveled more than an hour from the center of Accra to Abokobi, a community in the Ga East district, to meet Chris Edu Hesse, an opinion leader in the community. He and other residents say they've lived in fear for the past week after discovering a grave next to a single-room building concealed at a corner of an acre of land surrounded by weeds. The other part of the land looks like a garden with foodstuffs like plantain grown on it.
The opinion leaders came that there has been some problem, so they needed me to go to the police station to see what we can do. So I accompanied them. When we went, we saw one of the boys who lives here with us in the police cells. And the guy said, oh, he went to be Odumase Tokwa to visit this friend because they are into fellowship. When they went to preaching, town arts preaching. When they came in, a leader's boy passed on. So he went, he wrapped the body to him, and he brought the body here to come and bury it.
I decided to go to the site. It was scary. As we searched, we landed our feet on a heap of sand, covered with roofing sheets and weeds. After our discovery, we had hints the suspect was in the room peeping through the window. We quickly knocked at his door, and Osumafo, as he wants to be known, stepped out. He is not prepared to speak to the media unless God wants him to.
God does not like technology. What he expects of us is propagating his message to the world. God has not instructed us to comment on this issue.
He would also not confirm or deny the allegations he killed and buried the boy.
No one can kill without the permission of God. If God doesn't allow it, it would never happen.
We left Osumafo and the body of the 1.5-year-old baby. But the residents are disappointed with how the police have dealt with the issue.
Where they buried him is wrong. And I was thinking the police will say, okay, let's go and remove the body for autopsy. Let's see what killed the body first. Now you bury them, they are free. The body is still also lying there. And we don't know what killed the body. If it's a contaminated disease that killed this boy, it means we all in the area are supposed to be affected.
The people of Abokobi demand answers. Nancy Emefa Jadosi, Joy News.
Well, and there's a question I have. He says there that nobody can kill without the permission of God. It begs the question, is it that this baby boy was killed with the permission of God? Let's speak to Adenta Divisional Crime Officer, DSP Stephen Akowa. DSP Akowa, thank you for time here on NewsNite.
Thank you, too.
I'm told you've made some arrests, correct?
Yes, please.
Who exactly did you pick up?
We picked 2 suspects: the father of the deceased and the friend, who was also at the village and took the child to Abokobi. The 2 of them were picked.
Okay, so this child who was brought to Abokobi, it was the body. It was the one more we had. Possibly the child would have been dead already before they brought him to Abokobi.
That is the information that we have received.
Okay,
it's confirmed by the suspect themselves.
Now, did this so-called man of God confirm that they killed and buried the boy?
No, that is absolutely no.
Okay. But did they confirm that they buried the boy at least?
Yes, that is confirmed.
Okay, so they confirmed that they dug the ground and buried the body there.
Yes.
But as to who actually killed the boy, we don't know yet.
No, that from the story that we have received so far, the deceased was with the parents, the father and the mother, at Odumase Tupai in the Ashanti region. And, my information is that they are attending the religious organization, which name we don't know yet. And per their religion, they are not supposed to go to hospital when they are sick. They are not supposed to take drug when they are sick. They are not supposed to take injection. So I think in the night, the child got sick and was not sent to hospital. So he died in the morning, and instead of sending the body to the hospital to be deposited at the morgue for the next investigation to be made, they did not do so because they don't attend hospital. So they decided to bring the body to Abokobi, where they initially lived before they moved to the village. And that is where the involvement of the other man, who is the so-called pastor, was also ascertained. They brought the child to the dead body to Abokobi, where it was finally buried. Now we can't say whether actually the child was killed or not, because the child's mother, who has given statement to police, also confirmed that the child was with them and died in the morning. So we cannot say that the child was killed. But for now, once the body was not sent to the hospital to be deposited at the morgue and for postmortem to be performed, it amounts to an offense. And that is hindrance of inquest. And that is what they are being held for now.
Okay.
And what we intend doing, which the process, we are in the process, is that we are going to seek for court order to exhume the body. We cannot go and exhume the body ourselves without court granting us the order. When we exhume the body, postmortem will be done, and the cause of death will be known.
Okay.
But for now, they are being held for hindrance of inquest.
Okay. Do you know how long it's been since that boy has been buried in the ground?
From the information that is available, I think he was brought there on the 24th of August.
August, okay. Yeah. We are grateful that you joined us with that clarity. That's DSP Akowa there. Let's do sports time. Baba joins us with the very latest.
Hi, I'm Evans, and let me take you straight to Ethiopia for the latest updates of the senior national team, the Black Stars, ahead of their 2019 AFCON qualifier against the Harambee Stars of Kenya on Saturday.
Black Stars head coach Kwesi Appiah is 3 players away from having a full complement of the team as they fine-tune preparations for their 2019 AFCON qualifier against Kenya on Saturday. Newcastle winger Christian Achu is the latest to have joined the team after missing the first training session this morning in Addis Ababa. Kwadwo Asamoah, Harrison Affle and Ebenezer Ofori are all to join the Black Stars camp later tonight, and it is expected that by their next training session tomorrow, all 20 called-off players will be present. The Ghana side will train more than 3 times as they get ready to leave for Kenya on Thursday for their final preparation on Friday evening ahead of the qualifier on Saturday.
There will be live commentary on the Kenya-Ghana game on Saturday, live on your Super Hits Radio Joy 99.7 FM, courtesy First National Bank. First National Bank, how can we help you? And quickly, MFI and Evans, we have only 2 American ladies standing in the US Open this afternoon. Number 3, world number 3, and the defending champion Sloane Stephens. She was beaten by Latvian Anastasia Sevastova. So Sevastova goes on to the semi-final. Later, we have Serena Williams. She takes on Karolina Pliskova. And then Madison Keys will take on Carla Suarez Navarro, who beat Maria Sharapova yesterday. Currently on court, we have American John Isner taking on Juan Martin Del Potro. And then later, we also have one final game in the men's quarterfinal fixture. You head over to myjoyonline.com/sports for all of these details and more. Sports is done.
Thank you very much, Baba. Still listening to NewsNite here on Joy 99.7